disrupt our military nuclear capability. Huawei, we should mention, pleads innocence to this. David Kennedy is a former NSA hacker and now heads the security company TrustedSec. Thank you so much for joining us. And David, we let the Chinese in. So what are they capable of doing to us now, especially with our nuclear capability?
Well, we see China continue to increase any type of sophistication level, whether it's on the cyber front. We saw major hacks happen last year. They launched a massive barrage of attacks against the United States. And with Huawei, it's a government-owned, controlled technological backbone for 5G infrastructure, for cellular networks. It's providing high-speed internet access in a lot of cases. And what this specific allegation is that Huawei is basically investing in some of these high-tech areas where they wouldn't get a specific return on investment. So it doesn't make any sense for them to put this type of technology in these locations that are specifically located by military bases, areas where we have, nuclear command and control. So it's very alarming, and China's becoming more and more aggressive on the cyber front. They're becoming more and more aggressive in the technological front. So this is just another case around it. And just remember, we banned Huawei from any type of military installation or any type of DoD type installation a number of years ago. We're still phasing them out, but they're still heavily involved in a lot of the technology that we use across the United States.
Well, and on some level, you can't blame an adversary for trying to get in, but why did we so willingly let this happen? Why would we choose to let other countries install technology and let ourselves become vulnerable?
It's a major problem, and it's not just the United States. I mean, France, Germany, all of our European allies have allowed Huawei into this type of infrastructure as well. And the problem is that technology progresses so fast in a lot of these different countries. So different carrier providers try to keep the technology as relevant as fast as possible for its consumers. And the issue that we really run into in the United States is that China literally hacks into the United States, steals all of our research and development, all of our intellectual property, the trillions and trillions of dollars that we create on a regular basis in our economy, and then builds technology to compete with us at half the cost because they don't have all of the R&D efforts that go into it. So it's this cyclical effect that we continue to see from China on the cyber front, on the espionage front, on the intellectual property theft front, that continues to really make a big issue for us here in the United States. And they're not backing down. I mean, they're getting more aggressive every single day.
Well, and meanwhile, the FBI director, Christopher Wray, has warned repeatedly about China and Huawei as well as intelligence threats. Let's actually pull up and listen to a little of what he had to say.
If Chinese companies like Huawei are given unfettered access to our telecommunications infrastructure, they could collect any of your information that traverses their devices or networks. Worse still, they'd have no choice but to hand it over to the Chinese government if asked.
So on that note, 2 American Air Force bases, one in Montana and another in Wyoming, are surrounded by Huawei technology right now. And American officials say that the Chinese could listen in or more. What is the more here? What is your opinion on this?
When you look at the technology side, so I came from the intelligence community, mostly on the what we call signals intelligence side. And so one of the big concerns is the ability to intercept military communications, satellite communications, any way that we have any type of top secret type of infrastructure or communications that are going on, and are the Chinese able to intercept that, crack it, and then eavesdrop on sensitive, command and control, military installations. Anything that we have from a top secret perspective is always a major concern. But one of the other areas where we see starting to hear the other aspects of things is disrupting our ability to actually communicate. Our communication efforts, the entire military, how we're governed, is all through command and control. So senior level officials giving orders to, lower ranking officials to be able to make action. So in the event that there was a major conflict, let's just say China invades Taiwan and we're having a response effort, knocking out our ability to even communicate is something that is absolutely possible through these pieces of technology. So disruption is just as equally as bad as the ability to intercept and understand what we're doing from a military preparedness perspective. So it's a major threat. And China, I completely agree with Christopher Wray there that, they are one of our largest threats. They are the largest threat that we face from a technological perspective, from an aggressive perspective, and the advancements that they're making technologically. These are all things that we need to be concerned with.
Absolutely. And what we just showed on the screen is, the effort to get rid of this equipment, the FCC saying that we need another $3 billion to do so. Yeah. And all of this stalled for now. We certainly appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for your time. David Kennedy, former government hacker, now TrustedSec CEO. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And speaking of China, Bloomberg tonight